10 Signs You Need Therapy. There are many misconceptions about therapy, but perhaps one of the biggest and most dangerous is the idea that there needs to be something seriously up in order to make it to your therapist's couch. We all experience stress, anxiety, mood swings, and other forms of emotional distress at one point or another in our lives. Whether it's because of a professional setback, rejection, financial issues, relationships, personal loss, or some other reason. Most of the time, we're able to bounce back eventually, but sometimes we might need a little extra help to do so. Hello, and welcome to the channel. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any new updates from us. Maybe you're feeling low or empty and are unable to snap out of it. Or maybe you're noticing certain negative patterns in your lifestyle that you can't seem to break. Sometimes the signs of mental or emotional distress are obvious, but at other times, they are harder to pinpoint. Whilst therapy can also be helpful in a crisis, the earlier you seek the right help, the faster it's going to be to work through the issue. Pushing through and pretending everything's fine serves no one, because the more we stuff painful emotions down, the more we've got left to untangle. Instead, try and consider therapy as an emotional and mental health check. In the same way that we exercise and eat right to look after our bodies, therapy provides the space to check in with our minds and make sure everything is ticking along out. That way, it gets easier to spot when things are amiss, and we're able to steer ourselves back on course much faster. 1. You're feeling overwhelmed. Culturally, we tend to stuff our emotions down. While this might work temporarily, over time our emotions usually wind up resurfacing elsewhere and often tenfold. If you feel like you can't stop crying or angry outbursts are becoming a regular feature for you, take it as a sign to dig deeper. Do you snap at friends or cry at the drop of a hat? Are extreme emotions making it difficult to focus and handle daily functions? Being emotionally overwhelmed can be caused by lots of things and can be difficult to navigate on your own. If it feels like it's increasingly difficult to respond to and control your emotions, therapy may be able to help with both. 2. You keep getting ill. Our mental, emotional, and physical health are all deeply interconnected. If you're suffering from physical symptoms with no apparent cause, then therapy is a good next avenue to explore. Excess stress can lead to lowered immunity, bodily aches and pains, digestive difficulties, difficulty sleeping, and more. Take these as your body's warning sign that something is amiss. 3. You're drinking more than you used to or using other coping methods. If you find yourself reaching for the wine bottle every evening and letting impulses rule your life, this might suggest you're struggling to cope. Turning to things outside of yourself in order to make you feel better is a dangerous sign, and this would be a good time to check in with a professional. If you've been drinking heavily, using drugs, or participating in risky type behaviors, this could be your unhealthy attempt to cope with deeper issues. Therapy, along with addiction counseling, may help you better understand what you are trying to cover up and give you the tools to stop unhealthy behaviors. 4. You're less productive or finding it difficult to concentrate. Maybe you find yourself losing your train of thought mid-meeting, struggling to finish a book, or in and on over decisions that had previously been straightforward. All of these should be taken as a warning sign that something's up. Depression can cause changes in the brain that make it harder to focus. 5. You don't feel excited about anything anymore. Do you feel hopeless more days than not? Hopelessness can include worries that you have no future, that you'll never be happy, or you just don't care what happens anymore. Sometimes hopelessness can be a sign of depression, a serious mood disorder that affects 1 in 6 adults at one point in their life. You feel like you're stuck in a rut and don't get excited about things in the way you've used to. The inability to feel pleasure is a common symptom of depression and strips the sufferer from the motivation to do anything. If you find that you're not taking as much pleasure in your favorite activities anymore, this should serve as a major red flag. 6. Your friends are concerned. This is an obvious one, but it's easy to ignore the things we don't want to hear. If your loved ones are concerned or have mentioned that it's time to seek help, trust that they have your best interests at heart. 7. You've pulled away from your friends. If you feel like you don't get your friends anymore and find that you're becoming more and more insular, it might signal that you're struggling with your mental health. Isolation is a common symptom of anxiety and depression. 8. You keep repeating the same mistakes in life. Making the same mistakes time and time again could signal that there are some deeply ingrained patterns at play. Speaking to a therapist can help you identify where they stem from so you can build a life that's no longer dictated by the stories of old. 9. You're struggling in your relationship or can't hold down a relationship. Maybe you enter into intense love affairs that always end badly, or you're consistently at loggerheads with your partner. The way we interact with relationships today is closely intertwined with our past. We tend to create relationship dynamics that feel like the ones we had growing up. In order to break these patterns, it's usually necessary to revisit and heal the pains of our past in therapy. If you're unable to see eye to eye with someone, are in an unhealthy relationship, find yourself isolating or distancing yourself from your friend or partner, it may be time to talk to a behavioral health specialist about what is going on. In addition, couples therapy can help peacefully navigate differences and restore strong communication in your relationship. 10. You're having sleeping difficulties. Sleep should be seen as a barometer for your mental and emotional well-being. Sleeping difficulties often point to something going on at a deeper emotional and mental level. When most people think of insomnia, they think of it as the inability to fall asleep at night, but it can also manifest as waking up very early and not being able to fall asleep again or waking up multiple times throughout the night. If you're having trouble sleeping, sleeping too much, barely eating, or eating too much to dull your emotions, it may be time to hit the alarm button and talk to your healthcare provider or a behavioral health specialist. There you have it, guys, 10 signs you need therapy. Know that whether you yourself are having a hard time or someone you know, you're not alone. There's no time like the present to take the first step in getting the support you or your loved one needs. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment.